Okay, so we're back in the garage again this morning. I did some research last night after saying what I was going to do, talking about how we're going to fan this into the panel with these papers and see how that goes. I think that's not going to work. I think that's junk. I think it's going to look terrible if we do that. So what I decided to do, taking a little bit of risk on my timeline because there's a possibility of us not being able to get everything done if I choose to do it this way. But I did some research last night and I found out that realistically, if you want to look at base coat, if you want to look at recovering something, my method here is not the way to do it. And for as much time as it will take to prep the rest of the panel, it's probably best just to run a couple coats of base on there. A quick run of a 400 grit sandpaper, and we probably don't need to worry so much about priming the green stuff. For as much extra paint I think as it's going to take, I think it's just totally worth it to get the panel prep, paint the whole thing. If I end up having to run for another pint of paint, I can probably do that yet today. I've probably got time as long as they've got it at the shop. Yeah, I think it'll just be better result overall. So I'm going to try and quickly prep the panels. What we're going to end up doing, take the tail light off, the sticker off. We're going to change my plastic and we're going to run a tape line against the bed liner on there. And we'll end up probably putting 2 or 3 coats at least on the primer stuff, and then 1 or 2 on the rest of the panel, and then we'll clear the whole thing together. So I think it'll be a better result. It's probably the proper way to do it. It's not going to take that much. And to be honest with you, for as much as I've sunk into this project now, cost per dollar wise, it's probably worth the extra few bucks just to do that. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and prep the panel now. We got the panel prepped, retaped everything, but we're just going to take some 400 grit and do some wet sanding all along the panel and see how it turns out. Okay, so it looks a little better. What this allowed me to do is actually to kind of shape the primer piece a little better too, so that's kind of a bonus. Next what we're going to do is take some, I don't know if I got 1,000 or 1,500 grit, and go along all of the primered pieces so we got a nice smooth finish, so that when we put the base down, we'll be satisfied that we've got a smooth place to start on the base coat. Okay, so sanded it down with some 400. I went over the primer with some 2000 actually, because that's all I had, but I think it's going to make it pretty smooth. So, and then I've waxed and grease removed it. So I guess we're going to mix some paint and try and get a layer down. Before I do that, I'm going to come back with one more rag white once I get the gun mixed. Yeah, fender I ended up doing the same thing, just doing a 400 grit across it. Yeah, pretty happy with the rest of it. I think it'll hold base really nice. Kind of that scary feeling when you've got a panel that was nice and now it looks kind of shady, but I think it'll be okay. So that's the next step. It is time for the real deal. Time for the real deal. Now the question is, did they give me the right color? Who knows? Who knows? Oh, can't see there. That's yummy stuff there. Okay, side of the mixing cup you can see your ratios show up on top, so all you need to do is pick 4, go up to that line, 1, up to that line, and then it shows you. Okay, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by the air compressor. When you're mixing paint, generally you get a sheet like this, and it'll show you where your ratios need to be, your mixing ratios, 1:1, and that's for our base coat it says on top. And then basically you just grab your cup, and on the side it shows different ratios right on top here, which is a bonus. But then there's a bunch of little lines here, see that? Anyway, there's a bunch of little lines on the side of the cup. What you want to do is you just want to match up your lines. So you got a 1 down here, and so if you're doing 1:1 and you just want a little bit of paint, take a 1 there. Start with the paint, pour the paint into your first line, and then when you go to put your reducer in, find the next line up that's number 1. So you got 1 here, 1 there. So it puts that much paint, and then it doubles it. This line is double that one, and it puts your reducer in there. So if you want 2, you go up to 2, and then you need to double that to get the reducer in there, so you go up to 2. So fairly simple, and these cups are really cheap. I think they were 40 cents or something with the paint, so get those. So my number here somewhere, there we go. Give it a go. That wasn't good. Now we got a different problem. Apparently my air compressor decided to blow the belt, so I wish I would have done that before I was mixing paint, but such is life. Well, the bonus is it just fell off anyway, so. Let's go painting.